Secretary, in February 2003, you placed your enormous personal credibility before the United Nations and laid out a case against Saddam Hussein, citing...
No, they can't use it. They're editing it.
He's still asking me questions. Yeah. Tim, I'm sorry I lost you.
I'm right here, Mr. Secretary. I would hope they would put you back on camera. I don't know who did that.
We really...
I think that was one of your staff, Mr. Secretary. I don't think that's appropriate.
Emily, get out of the way. Bring the camera back, please. I think we're back on, Tim. Go ahead with your last question.
Thank you very much, sir. In February of 2003, you put your enormous personal reputation on the line before the United Nations and said that you had solid sources for the case against Saddam Hussein. It now appears that an agent called Curveball had misled the CIA by suggesting that Saddam had trucks and trains that were delivering biological chemical weapons. How concerned are you that some of the information you shared with the world is now inaccurate and discredited?
I'm very concerned. When I made that presentation in February 2003, it was based on the best information that the Central Intelligence Agency made available to me. We studied it carefully. We looked at the sourcing. In the case of the mobile trucks and trains, there was multiple sourcing for that. Unfortunately, that multiple sourcing over time has turned out to be not accurate. And so I'm deeply disappointed. But I'm also comfortable that at the time that I made the presentation, it reflected the collective judgment, the sound judgment of the intelligence community. But it turned out that the sourcing was inaccurate and wrong, and in some cases deliberately misleading. And for that, I'm disappointed and I regret it.
Mr. Secretary, we thank you very much for joining us again and sharing your views with us today.
Thanks, Tim.
And that was an unedited interview with the Secretary of State taped earlier this morning from Jordan. We appreciate Secretary Powell's willingness to overrule his press aide's attempt to abruptly cut off our discussion as I began to ask my final question. Come to view from the Senate with